Hey everyone, I'm Pam and welcome back to my makeup channel. Today I'm just going to be chatting about some new makeup I've got since the last time I filmed one of these videos. I think it was about 3.5 months ago, and Lily is here as well to provide moral support. And yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. So I've bought a fair amount of makeup in the last little while, almost a full face worth. Did I need more makeup? Not particularly, but I bought it anyways. We will start with face, and I got two new products. One is the Fenty Beauty Ease Drop Blurring Skin Tint. I do love my tinted moisturizers, so I've been really wanting to try this since it came out. I got the shade 3, which is honestly a little warmer than I would prefer. I went to the site and so many of the shades were sold out. All of the more cool or neutral tones were sold out. But the good thing about tinted moisturizer is that they are so, translucent that even if the shade isn't a perfect match, it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to be using this today. The other thing I got was the Bare Minerals Matte Foundation. It's the powder foundation in Fairly Light 03. So we will use that another day, but in the meantime, just going to take a bit of a squeeze of the Fenty drops and put it all over my face. I have noticed I've been having a bit of a reaction to something, which is a fairly common thing for me. I don't think you'll even be able to see it on camera, but I just have these tiny little bumps just sort of on my forehead here, which is a fairly common occurrence when I try new products. It used to happen more often than it does now. But I find if I power through, it generally goes away. So I, will just continue using these products for a couple weeks and I will most likely stop reacting to them. That tends to be my reaction anytime my skin reacts like that or anything reacts like that. I remember when I was a teenager, I worked at Chapters, which is a bookstore, and I had a Starbucks inside the store. And I loved chai lattes, and I would get a chai latte every time. And every time the milk would make my stomach not feel so hot. But I really love those chai lattes, so I just kept drinking them. And then one day it was fine, and I had absolutely no problem drinking milk anymore. So I don't think that's a particularly good life lesson. Keep doing things that are bad for you until your body stops reacting to them. But that's worked for me so far, so take from that what you will. I'm just dabbing this with a damp sponge to go over. You can see it's just a really nice sort of natural finish. It doesn't look too warm, I don't find. But yeah, I quite like this. Now, I would probably put this around the same quality or the same, I like using it about as much as my Pretty Fresh tinted moisturizer from ColourPop. Now, of course, there's quite a price difference. The Fenty drops, I think, were $38. So they're about double the price of this. And I also believe there's less product in them. What is it? The ColourPop is 43 milliliters. The Fenty is 32. So it's quite a bit more expensive for the Fenty. I'm not sure that I will continue to buy that. I'll probably just go back to the ColourPop, but we'll see. Maybe when they have my shade in, I'll feel differently. But now I also got a couple new brow products because I just used up the Quo Micro pencil that I was using. I got two things from NYX. I got a micro brow pencil. I don't think I've tried this before. This is an espresso, which is a sort of cool, very dark brown. And then this is the thing that I've been really wanting to try out. And it is the Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen, and this is in ash brown. I've been really wanting to try out the Glossier one, the Brow Flick, I think it's called. But, you can only order that. I can't get it in stores. So I went and ordered this from the NYX store, which shipped to Canada for free, which was nice. So it's got this very nice fine tip that's supposed to allow you to make hair-like strokes. And I can make them on my hand, sort of. But I don't have that much confidence in doing it on my eyebrows, but we'll try this out, see how it goes. I actually might get a different mirror just so I don't have to get up too close to my vanity here, but so start out at the front. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure it's these Fenty drops that are making me react because I see them. I see little bumps even more. But I'll just power through. So, I mean, it's pretty nice. It's sort of natural looking. It's really hard for me, especially because, like, I have, like, 3 eyebrow hairs in the tails here, so getting sort of natural looking strokes is difficult, and I'm also just not that good at hand-eye coordination, so let's see how it goes. Yeah, I feel like I'm losing the strokes and I'm just filling it in just like I would with like a powder or something. But it still looks alright, so I'm just going to do the other eyebrow real quick off camera. Okay, so I've got my eyebrows on. Just going to go through them a bit with a spoolie. So yeah, I feel like, and this might be a problem with my technique as opposed to the product, but I definitely have lost the sort of hair-like strokes, and this looks similar to putting on a powder, but I do find it's still applied very nicely. Sometimes with the micro pencils, I'll get sort of weird little areas sort of in the middle of my brow or near the tail where it doesn't want to apply as well as it does in the rest of the brow. And this just applied pretty nicely all over the place. So I do like this. Maybe I'll get better at doing it as I use it. But pretty happy with that, and I think this costs like maybe $13 or $14 at Rexall, so not too expensive. We've got some face products. Another thing from Fenty, actually got a few things from Fenty. I got the Fenty Cream Cheeks Out Contour and Bronzer. This is in shade 01 Amber. And this is a contour shade. So many people sort of conflate contour with bronzer, but they are different things and they have different shades. A contour is meant to look like a shadow, so like a shadow under your cheekbone or a shadow like on your forehead to make it look smaller, whereas bronzers are supposed to like bring sort of bronziness and warmth to the face, and they are much warmer colors. So I honestly don't really like bronzers very much. I'm fine with being pale. And until this, I never really liked contours, but I like this. This is like the perfect color for me. It's fairly natural as well, and I just really like how it goes on. So I usually just go in with my finger. It's very hot in here, so it's very sort of melty and easy to use right now. And so I'm just going to go like around my big ass forehead, try to make it look smaller with the power of light and shadow. And we're gonna go under the cheekbones, even though my cheekbones are already pretty fabulous. I can't lie. But we'll do some more. And then we'll get the jawline, which I could also use a little help with, just behind here. And then here to make it look like I don't have as much of a double chin as I do. Just like that. But we don't want to look like we have a beard either. So it's a very fine balance. Where are you? Contour brush. There we are. So, actually, I'm going to use a sponge for this instead of a brush. This is just a sponge I haven't used for anything. It is a wet sponge, and I'm just going to pat in all around where I put it here. I like to blend it out quite a bit, like I don't want it to be obvious looking, and it does blend out a lot, so I like that. Yeah, alright, so yeah, it's kind of hard to tell the difference. It's just a little darker sort of around the edges of my face to try to push them back and make them look smaller. So, okay, so before we do anything else with the face, I'm going to do my eyeshadow. And these are some palettes that I was very excited about. I had been following along with their development. Temptalia, who is a very well-known makeup blogger, and she makes videos as well sometimes. She just reviews all the new makeup that comes out. She does swatches, she does dupes, she rates every single shade of everything. And I've been watching her put together these 3 palettes with Sydney Grace, which is a company I haven't used before, but I've heard nothing but good things about their shadows. So the first palette is called the Quintessence palette. They've got these beautiful, sort of spacey looking covers, which are just like the perfect color scheme for what I like. This is the first one here. It's just a beautiful sort of space themed, like galaxy themed, and it's got just beautiful blues and purples and greens. I'm just going to swatch a couple things for you. My constellation is like a blackish purple here, which is just gorgeous. We've got Galactic Muse, which is a sort of tealy almost, sort of emerald, sort of teal color. The Milky Way is one of the most beautiful shades. It's like a duochrome that just has this beautiful color flip to it. Just sort of purpley, sort of silvery, just like really, really gorgeous. And what else do we want to swatch here? And then we'll do Aurora, which is a bluey purple as well. Just like absolutely gorgeous colors. And then the second palette is called the Radiant Reflection palette. Oh, this is actually the third palette, but we'll go with this now. It is a bit of a rainbow palette, just with beautiful blues, greens, a really nice gold in here, and some purples, and yeah, just very beautiful as well. And then this one is the On the Horizon palette. This is the middle palette. Another beautiful cover. This is her dog Magellan, who sadly died not too long ago. But this is a sort of slightly more natural looking palette. So we've got some muted greens and these beautiful orangey colors. All just really, really gorgeous. I was just so excited about these. I have used them a bunch. The shimmers are honestly some of the best shimmers I've used. Sometimes I will forgo the more complicated looks and I'll just do a shimmer all over the eye rather than, using 6 different colors of eyeshadow. So love all of these. I'm going to use today this one, the first one, the Quintessence palette. So we will start with, before we get to this, I forgot something else. I got the Milani eyeshadow primer. I've been watching a lot of Emily Noel lately, and she is always talking about how good this primer is. So I decided I would try it out. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of this. Oh, it's nice and creamy. It's got a really nice texture. Got a bunch of primers. Some of them feel like a little too liquidy. Some of them feel a little too solid, but this one feels very nice and creamy. So that's a very good start. Just going to spread it over the whole eyelid. Yeah, I like how that feels. It's so smooth, and it just sort of covers up the veininess a little bit, and it seems to set down pretty quickly. So I'm just going to take a big shader brush, and I'm going to go in with the color Parallax, which is just a sort of gray color, and I'm just going to set the whole lid with that. Sort of pat it on top to set that primer down, even though the primer seems pretty set already, but just have a little bit of a base color going. Okay, just zoomed in a little. Now I'm going to go in with Reaching Zenith, which is just a bit of a darker gray. I'm just going to go in with a small shader brush and just take this a little through the crease and at the outer corner, just to deepen it up there. So I'm going to go in little circles and windshield wiper motions. Alright, now I haven't used this color too much before. I'm going to go in with my Constellation, which is this purpley black that I swatched at the beginning. And this is just going to go all over the lid. Let's get right to the edge, right up into the crease. I'm going to leave this inner corner a bit since I'm going to put a different color there. These are just really easy to work with. Very nice. And I'm just going to go in with my finger and just get some like extra good color payoff, especially around the center of the lid. I would go in with my finger at first. It just doesn't, it's not as precise getting into those corners and things, so that's why I just go in second. So that really deepens that up, and then just take the brush just to blend the edge of it a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to go in with this beautiful Milky Way color here. I'm going to take just a little pointy brush, just wipe off whatever I had on it last, so just a little teeny one, and I'm going to take this in that inner corner there, so just here. Using this mirror that has a film over it, which is not making things that easy. Okay, you see how nice that looks? That color just has such a beautiful shift to it. Put on even a little bit more. Blend it a little bit into the purple. Okay. And now for the bottom lash, I'm going to take just a little pencil brush, and I'm going to go in to Orion Nebula, which is this beautiful sort of burgundy shade. It's not quite as glittery or sparkly as the shades we've been working with. Those are a little bit more crumbly and chunky. This is a very smooth sort of, almost like a satin more than a shimmer. But that's just going to go under the lash line here. And lastly, I'm going to go in with a angled flat brush and go into Interstellar, which is a sort of deep bluey green color. And that's just going to go right against the lash line on top of the burgundy color. Okay, so we've made a mess. This is probably a look where I should have done my eyes before I put on my tinted moisturizer, but I'm just going to take this magic eraser cloth, which is just wet, and take the fallout from the shadow off. I'm just going to pat it so that it doesn't also rub my my tinted moisturizer off. I got these cloths at Winners the other day, which in the States would be like, I think, TJ Maxx or Marshall. Actually got a few things there. I feel like I'm probably the last person in the world to know this, but that's a really good place to get deals on makeup. I got these cloths. It came with 2 of them for like $6 or $7. I got the Bare Minerals foundation for, I think it was $13, and then I got a lipstick that I was looking for $7, like all maybe between a half and a quarter of what it would cost you getting it direct from whoever sells it. So yeah, definitely will be going there again in the future when I'm looking for new makeup. So now that we have that done, I'm going to just put on some concealer. I do not have any new concealer, so I'm going to go in with my usual Glossier Stretch Concealer. Just putting it under my eyes here. Oops. Problem with the pot is that I just get my nails stuck into it, or get it under my nails, and it makes a big mess. And just brush this in. Also helps to clean up any sort of uneven lines under here. Might have gone a little overboard right there. That's fine though. We'll fix it. And then I'm going to go in with another thing that is not new, but this is just my Naked translucent setting powder. Just going to set under my eyes, since that is a very moist concealer that doesn't like to dry down on its own. So just a light dusting of powder under there. This eyebrow here, it's drying down a little strangely. I've got some like little flakes here that I don't want to see. Hopefully that doesn't get any worse, but I almost feel like I need to reapply a little bit on the tail here. I really want to like this, so I hope it stays well. It's the first time I'm using it, so I have no idea what the staying power is, but most of the products I use, like, they last through a nap, so if this doesn't, then it won't be a winner for me. So what should we do now? So now we've got some more eyes to do. I got an Essence eyeliner pen. I learned how to do liquid winged liner somehow, just sort of magically overnight. I'm not sure if I'm going to like this. We'll see if I like it. So I'm just going to try to do a little wing here. I'll probably mess it up since I'm on camera. But let's go. So I find it's helpful to look down at a mirror instead of like looking forward so that your eye can be down, because if I look up, there's sort of like hooded areas and little creases at the corner, whereas if I'm looking down, that sort of smooths out. That's not bad, I guess. And I just like to do the wings first, and then I can kind of clean up the rest of it after. Well, that one might be a little bit thicker, but it's all good. And then I can just go in from the inner corner. So hard to get it even. You try to even it out, and then you just end up with giant thick lines on both sides as you go between them, back and forth. Try not to poke yourself in the eye. Alright, I think that's about the best we're going to do. I feel like one side is just a tiny bit longer than the other. I'm just going to take a Q-tip and try to shorten it up. Not sure how successful we'll be, but it's fine. There we go. Alright, that's not bad. Not completely even, but not the worst I've ever done either. I'm fine for my first winged liner on camera, I think. Okay, so we have a few more items to go. This is a new mascara. It is the Lancome Lash Idol, which was recommended to me by my friend Michelle, aka Petey Puff, from Petey's Power Hour. And this is really nice. I love the Glossier Lash Slick, and this reminds me of it a fair bit with the way that it just sort of lifts and separates and lengthens, just does like a little bit of everything, but not too much of any one thing. Just sort of how I like my mascaras. My only issue is that I just bought the mini, and while I think that's a good idea because I don't tend to use up an entire mascara, the wand is just a tiny bit too short and it makes it a little bit difficult to use, but I love how the actual mascara looks. Just really separates my lashes. I really hate clumping. That's my least favorite thing a mascara does. Thank you for the recommendation, Petey Puff. And just a little bit on the bottom lashes. I'm really terrible at doing the bottom lashes. I usually just make a mess, so I kind of just touch them slightly with the wand, like I'm scared of it or something. Alright, that is it for the mascara. And I think we're done with eyes. Oh, I keep saying that. I feel like I say that so much. I got a little mini Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow. This is the first ABH product I've ever used. I'm going to just run it through my brows. Hopefully it looks good. They're actually pretty well in spot right now, but I'll just give it a little go to see how this looks. I find a lot of these tinted brow gels are just a little too clumpy. Well, I'm ruining everything. Yep. That was a bad idea. Alright. So, yeah, maybe I'll try that again, just like on its own, to see what it can do. Because as it is, it just kind of made my brows look a bit on the messy side, and it sort of coated the hairs that are usually basically invisible and not really part of my brow game. So, didn't love that. I probably should have gone with just a clear one. But we live and we learn. So I got a couple new cream blushes as well. I really prefer cream blushes over powder lately, so I got two of the Fenty Cheeks Out cream blushes. The first one is in the shade 02 Petal Poppin', which is a nice sort of bubblegum pink color. And the second one is a very reddy orange. It is 06 a Daiquiri Dip. So just like a very warm red. I'm not really sure what's going to go. I mean, I feel like the red's not going to go with this eye look at all, even though I really want to try this one out. But I will go with Petal Poppin' so I don't look like a clown. I was going to buy a new blush brush from Sephora when I made my order. I had a $40 brush sitting in my cart, and then I decided that's ridiculous. I walked to Rexall and got this e.l.f. blush brush for $4.99, I think it was. So, I'm trying to decide if I want to go in with my finger or go in with the brush. It just looks so nice and smooth. I almost don't want to disturb the surface, but I'll go in with the brush. We'll try that. So picking it up. Maybe I'll go in with my finger. So I'll just sort of dot it on my cheeks. I like when I do pink to do it more on the apple of my cheek, whereas with darker colors I like to sort of go up the cheekbone more. So we'll just use this brush to blend it in. How do people keep their hair out of their makeup? My hair just gets stuck to my face when I'm putting on blush or when I'm trying to do contour. It just gets in the way. So that's really pretty. I really like that color. It's very sort of dewy. I honestly think I could use a tiny bit more. A little heavier on the blush. Let's get a few more dots. Seems to be blending on one cheek better. Seems to be blending on this cheek. Maybe it's just the light, I'm not sure. But, yeah, I really like that. It's very sort of fresh and just like really pretty and girly looking. So we've got that. Now I have my last thing. The reason I went to Winners was because I was looking for the Becca Lipstick Love, which is just this beautiful, beautiful formula that is just very hydrating and moist. The website, I was so sad. I went there on lipstick day when they were half off and I was going to order some and it wouldn't let me put a Canadian address in. So sadly I couldn't order, but I went to Winners and I was able to find one shade. It is the shade Ember, which is a very warm red. Again, probably not going to go with this look, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's just such a beautiful formula. I really hope that if I go there a couple more times, I'll be able to find some more of these. The only shade I had before, I actually got in a BoxyCharm, and it was the shade Taupe, which is a brown, and I love brown lipsticks. So I was hoping to get sort of a nude or something, but for now I have Ember, and I will just put this on. It just goes on so smoothly. It's really nice color too. At first I was worried because I tend to like, in the appearance at least, of cooler reds, but I actually think this warm red looks really good on me. So, yeah, that is the Becca Love lipstick. Sadly, they are going out of business, so they will not be available anymore. I would really like to pick more up. Oh, I also have lipstick under my nose. I don't know how I managed to do that. But I think that's it. I got a pair of lashes from NYX, and these honestly look pretty cheap. They're the style Flirt, though they also cost $4, so I don't know exactly what I was expecting for $4 lashes. And I don't even really like lashes because I'm very bad at putting them on, and I tend to just ruin my eyeshadow that I've worked so hard on when I do put them on. So let me just zoom you back out here, and that is the final look. Yeah, again, I'm not sure this lip really goes with the rest of the face, but that's what we're gonna do for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know, I don't know, tell me something, leave me a comment, talk to me. I'll probably be back. I'm going to start a Shop My Stash series, I think, to try to use up some of the makeup I already have, which does seem sort of counterintuitive after I just bought all this new makeup. But I do want to go through things and either use them up. I really want to see pan on something at some point ever, or decide that, you know, things aren't really working for me anymore and sort of get rid of them out of the collection. But yeah, that's it for now. Really happy with pretty much everything I got. Just the eyebrow products, the pen and the dip brow. Not sure if I love them, but love the eyeshadow palettes especially, and the cream blushes and this lipstick. So yeah, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.